March 3rd, 2025. We are at the beginning of March and we are going to be doing all astrological signs, all sun signs readings to give you some guidance for this month. So stay tuned if you want to get your readings today. Cura, 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 corazón. Cura, cura, cura. Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing Channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And I'm super excited today. We are going to be starting the month of March with some tarot and oracle card readings to support you in your journey forward. And I also wanted to mention before we get started a couple of things in regards to just promotions. So I just wanted to share with you that I have a brand new YouTube channel, and this channel is called the Akashic Records channel. This channel has a bunch of different meditations as well as collective clearings, Akashic clearings, while I use something called spiritual response therapy to support you with collective energies, to release all of these karmic collective energies. This is how we move our planet forward, is to release all of these energies that we're holding at the subconscious level at the collective. So I want to invite you to go over at the Akashic Records channel. If you don't find it, you just put in the @ and then the Akashic Records channel. I also want to invite you to go over to my website, thebloominglotushealing.com, if you want to receive any support one-on-one. If you're struggling with your relationships, maybe you're struggling with moving some energies in your own life, maybe you're struggling with maybe even anxiety or feeling a sense of heaviness in your overall daily life, then I want to invite you to go over to the bloominglotushealing.com and book a session with me. You can start with a strategy call first, just to see what we need to do. If we need to do just like a one session, or maybe you may need more than one session, we can just talk about that on a strategy call. So please do go over to the bloominglotushealing.com and book your session today. I also want to invite you to share and like this video, as well as subscribe to this channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to the fam. I'm so grateful for you to be here. If you're already subscribed and you haven't clicked that bell button, make sure that you do so that you know when I post a video next or when I go live next. As y'all know, I really love to come live here instead of pre-recording the videos, and I just kind of love to go into the stream of consciousness. So that's sort of like the style of work that I do here. I've been looking to do a little bit more just kind of like more organized and edited type of work, but for whatever reason, I just always tend to enjoy this a lot more. And I hope that you are enjoying these videos, and let me know in the comments, how are you feeling about me posting every day, Monday to Friday? Is this something that is helping you? Do you feel like this is the topics here that we're sharing are helpful? I know that we did the 30-day meditation challenge last month, and I was sharing meditation, and I'd love to know, how did this support you, and how are you feeling after going into starting from a 1 minute of silence into a 7 minute of silence? I would love to hear more about you guys, and any feedback is so welcome from you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And so let's go ahead and get started. I kind of wanted to share something that I saw this morning on Facebook. I'm actually going to go into my Facebook real quick, and I'll share this with you guys from here. There was this really interesting video of I believe it looked like it was like from the 50s, and they use these old school cameras to showcase the actual energy fields of people, which is so interesting to me because we talk about energy and we think new age is new, but really new age is not that new, right? Like all of these conversations about frequency and about energy, they've been talked about for so many years. It's just that, for whatever reason, we have denied ourselves that opportunity to be curious and be open to receiving. So I kind of wanted to share that just so that we can kind of open that conversation, right? About how these concepts that we talk about here on this channel or any other new age or spiritual channel, these concepts have been around for, I want to dare say, centuries. And but just now we're kind of coming back to agreeing or accepting these, right? So I wanted to share this real quick. Let me just go here into my Facebook real quick. And I wanted to share this video because it was so beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, I bet they would enjoy this. And so since I don't necessarily have, okay, let me see if I can just go in here and just share this. So bear with me here. So this is human auras that was basically recorded. It doesn't really say when it was recorded, but it looks like it was recorded maybe in the 50s or so because it was black and white. It was 16 millimeter film. And as a photographer myself, like I just found it so fascinating because I love photography, and photography is all about recording light. And whoever did this really it's just so beautiful to me because the light is basically what you search for when you're in the photography field. Like you can't get a picture without light. And this combines both of my passions, which is photography and spirituality, or even just energy, just being open to receive, right? These different ways of exploring the world. And so let me go ahead and see if I can share this here. Present. Okay, so I'm going to share with y'all this. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
The body. It dynamically changes based on the physical conditions, the feeling states, the motivations of the person, in interaction with energy radiation from objects and living things. The existence of the human energy field, or the aura, was validated and studied by over 12 years of high-frequency recordings. This film shows the field not ordinarily seen, but now visible. Like all living things, this little dog has a sizable radiant field, even when he sits quietly. Notice now, as he greets his master, the obvious love and affection between them increases the dynamic radiation from their bodies, even the dog's tail and the man's head. No wonder so many people have pets who give them pleasure and provide a vital field of energy to interact with.
I just want to take a moment here to just kind of take a look at the fact that a lot of times we think that we don't see aura, but I feel like this is how I see the auras. It's sort of like this, like this wave of energy, or this sort of like this, like I would say wave of energy that comes through. And a lot of times people are like, I'm not sure if I see auras, but I wonder if maybe you thought that it was probably like a play of light, right? You thought, oh, well, I'm not really seeing anything, but you probably have seen the aura or the auric field of someone without even realizing, right? And so this is such a really great way for us to kind of compare what we have seen ourselves, and also recognize that we potentially are seeing auras and potentially seeing the energy field of whatever it is that we have seen, which if it's a person or even a plant or an animal. And just really giving ourselves permission to stay curious about these ideas, right? Or these experiences that we may have that are potentially showing us, right? It's just the universe trying to show us beyond what we were conditioned or programmed to believe that truth is. So let's continue watching this.
Wherever there is motion in the universe, there is increased flow in the field that humans interact with. See the explosive activity from the waves and from his body. Also, the electromagnetic field of the body is negatively charged or ionized, as are waves or tumbling water, which further expands and heightens his field, giving a physical exuberance and emotional excitement. No wonder that a day at the beach is so exhilarating and vitalizing.
So we take a moment to really think about this aspect of, and then for those of you who are listening on the podcast side of things, we're looking at a video of this woman outside on the beach, and you can see sort of like this like blurred energy around her, right? And this is how they were able to capture it. It was sort of looks like a blurred, sort of like different color around her, and it was just really like really big around her. Like it's just this really big orb of energy around her, and this is where one of the where not only do we get the confirmation that being in nature is very healing for us, and it elevates our frequency, but it also reminds us that we may need to lean in to nature, right? Whenever we're feeling depleted. When we are living in cities or we're indoors all the time, I have personally experienced this feeling of, and it doesn't necessarily, we don't necessarily see it, we just feel it. Maybe we feel like our mental health is not doing so well, or maybe we're not feeling as energetic, or we're feeling moody. And part of the reason why we're feeling that way is because we are disconnecting from nature. And some of the messages that I've personally received, especially with sitting with mushrooms, which I have spoken here before about mushrooms. And I have a video here on my YouTube channel if you want to watch that, where I talk about psilocybin mushrooms. And I also developed the Oracle deck where I speak, and which I will be doing readings on that today for everyone. But I find it very fascinating that it is such a tangible way to see that our energy expands when we are in nature. So let's continue watching this together.
We all love a babbling brook and the freshness of outdoor vegetation and mountains. Most of us believe that it is relaxation and beauty which refreshes us. From our research, we have discovered that living plants and rarefied atmosphere provide a richer field of negative ions, which heightens and replenishes our own energy field. Notice that the man's field becomes light in color and high in frequency. It sparkles and radiates some distance from his body. See that as the child moves into the mother's field, the affection between them changes the overall field to a pink color. Individuals' fields blend and enhance when there is a warm, caring relationship. These energy fields are the largest and the whitest that we have shown. She is oming. On the breath inhalation, the radiant field diminishes, and on exhalation, it expands and envelops the child. We have known for a long time that Gregorian chants, oming, humming, singing, and whistling create an energy which perks up emotions and brings an expanded consciousness.
Okay, so for those who are listening and not watching, in this specific part of the video, they were showing a mother sitting next to her child, and there was also at the beginning they showed a guy outside in nature, and then they kind of cut into a mother sitting with her child, and then she was sitting in a lotus pose on the floor with a child, and she then was oming. She was doing an om chant. As she was doing this, then you could see her energy expand, and then it was just enveloping her child, but it was even expanding even further out, right? And so this is such a beautiful way for us to remember, right? Like just a reminder that if we are feeling the need to move our energy, There's so many very simple things that we can move the energy around for ourselves. Uh, just something as simple as stepping out in nature and walking around even a body of water, going to the beach if you're here in Florida, right? Or just maybe going to an area where there's a lake or running creek. Just being around that will help. And then it's such a beautiful reminder to see these things, because a lot of times we get so caught up in our daily routines that we forget these little very simple things that we can do to help ourselves. And so I hope that this little video that I showed you, that it kind of shows you this real tangible visual of how your energy can be expanded, right, just by using a a simple tool such as an Om chant or any mantra, right, that is positive. And then even surrounding yourself by loved ones, such as maybe your child or maybe a pet, or any loved one that you just feel your heart expand. Just being around that is just, it elevates your energy and you feel so much better, right? Like you can feel tangibly better when you do that. So I just felt so excited to see this, especially because it was such an old film. And I was like, oh my gosh, we've been studying this for such a long time, and we kind of tend to say that it's woo or it's not real, or but I want to invite you to really to really see this from a place of curiosity. And yeah, and just let's give ourselves to the permission to be playful and stay in this wondrous place. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the readings. So I'm gonna go ahead and do just I'm gonna ask for guidance for the month of March for each sign, for each sign, sun sign. So we're gonna be focusing on sun signs today. So let's go ahead and open this sacred container together, since we're all here receiving the information. I want to ask Spirit to bless the space with essence of harmony, peace, love, compassion, and expansion. Thank you, Spirit. As we open the sacred container, we thank the ancestors of the land. Thank you for allowing us to be here, for being our support system and our guidance system as we navigate these lands. We also ask our ancestors, the well ancestors, to support us. And we thank you for being the prayer, the initial prayer of our existence. So thank you, dear ancestors. Calling in our higher selves, our spirit guides, as well as our angels of light, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron. Help us connect with our wisdom to heal what is meant to be healed throughout today's session, and be receptive to what we need to receive in these readings for today. And we also ask Archangel Michael to help us protect the space. We ask that this space is open for only the highest good and the highest good of all, and only for those who are in need to receive these messages. Thank you, Spirit. Bring those forth who need to receive the messages and allow them to receive these with an open heart. We also ask Spirit to help align all of our bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, to receive the messages and be able to integrate them throughout our month of March this year. Thank you, Spirit, for your support and your love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the readings. So, like I said, we're going to be doing readings for all of the sun signs. Okay, I'm going to put here March readings. So for the month of March, things to think about or to notice for the month of March. Okay, and I will be using both my oracle deck as well as tarot. And then say hello to my little munchkin here. All right, baby, go down. I need you to go over there, okay? Go to your place. Okay, so for those who are of the sun sign of Aries, let's see what messages Spirit has for you. Dear Spirit, I ask you to please support me with receiving the messages that are for the highest good and for the highest good of all those who are of the sun sign of Aries. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. What are the messages here for those of the sun sign of Aries for the month of March? What do we need to be focused on throughout the month of March for those of sun sign of Aries? Thank you, Spirit. Dear Aries, we have focus for this month of March in your relationships. So we have the Five of Wands upside down, the Knight of Pentacles upside down. We got the Seven of Swords upside down. And we also have the Lovers right side up. And we have the card of Maíz for you. Okay. Let me see. Let me see what other card here. Okay. So in regards to you, dear Aries, we have an opportunity for you to bring some cooperation or even bring some collaboration with in your community. It feels like there's sort of like this place of peace and again, and just like togetherness and cooperation that I feel is showing up for you during this month. So whatever opportunities you have this month to really open yourself up to collaborations, whether they are within the family or also just outside of the family, just in general in your career, that would be very helpful for you. So relationships are important this month for you. Okay. You also want to be mindful of any aspects of your finances that are excessive or that are not serving you at this time. So I would recommend for you, dear Aries, to think about what aspects of your finances are not really in alignment with your goals, right? Maybe there's some spending that you can kind of tighten up or cut, and start making and really be mindful of any financial decisions that are sort of impulsive, and give yourself permission to think through your finances this month. Okay. Now the other thing that you want to think about, specifically for you, is to be prepared. You may have like a truth bomb that may come up this month for you when it comes down to certain situations. You might discover certain hidden aspects of a relationship that you didn't know, like maybe parts of or even aspects of a person that you didn't even know about, that you didn't even realize, that are going to come to light. And I don't feel like this is necessarily a bad thing, but I just feel like this could potentially be a surprise for you, and then in turn create sort of like this feeling of you don't know who you're dealing with anymore. But it's important that you kind of hunker down when that happens and try to have a conversation, right, to expand into that that's been revealed, so that you can feel more at ease and at peace with the situation. You're also being called this month to really do some spiritual work, to maybe even work on connecting with your channeling skills. If you're someone who's been maybe thinking about connecting with your channeling skills, or you've been already connecting with your channeling skills, if you are already connected to your channeling skills, I'm already getting the message that these have potentially been activated for you because of your star family, or your soul family, or even your spirit team. So like all of those who are in the ethers, they're sort of supporting you and want you to receive those channeled messages. And so working on your channeling skills, right? Or you're connecting with your skill set of receiving receptivity, connecting to that feminine energy, is important for you this month as well. You're also being invited to really see yourself from a place of abundance. Try not to see the world from a place of lack this month. Try to see it from a place of abundance. Look at what you do have and then operate from that place, okay? This is also important when it comes down to maybe those impulsive spending. So maybe you might be a little overzealous with the spending. So you might want to look at, how to balance that, right? Like you don't want to go into a place of complete lack. I'm like, oh my god, I have to be so. I'm afraid that Jikara told me that I have to be very mindful of my spending, and now I have to be like super tight. No, that's not what I'm saying here. So there's another message here from the spirit of psilocybin saying, hey, but don't go to an extreme here. Make sure you're in balance, okay? And when it comes to also, I feel like you may have like certain opportunities when it comes down to even meeting new people this month that are gonna bring like lasting opportunities in your life. And I'm gonna get confirmation. Is this career related or is this love related? I'm getting career related for you. So you may have some people during this month that may show up in your life that can potentially be really good news for you when it comes down to your career. Okay. Is there anything else here, Spirit? No. Okay. So that's what I have for you. That's what I have for you, dear Aries. Okay, let's see. Now we're going to move on to Taurus. Let me go to my banners here. Taurus. Okay, there's my Taurus. Okay, thank you, Spirit. I'd like to know, what are the messages for Taurus sun sign for the month of March? What do we need to be aware of? What do they need to know? How can we help them? Show me, Spirit. For the month of March, thank you, Spirit. Okay. Taurus, show me what's the message here for Taurus. All right, dear Taurus. So we have for you the card of the Eight of Swords right side up. We have the Queen of Cups upside down, Knight of Swords right side up. We have the World right side up. We have Cosmic Mother and Rainbow card from the Spirit of Psilocybin for you, okay? In regards to you, dear Taurus, first of all, the thing that I see here is you're kind of in this place of completing certain cycles that are specifically related to feminine energy, to connection with mother, certain cycles that were imprinted onto you early on in your life, that were kind of things that you've been processing, how to show up as a mother or how to show up as a nurturing person in your life. Like that's something that's been showing up here, and you're kind of like in this place of like closing this cycle of energies that were bothering you. This doesn't mean that you're not going to go into a deeper layer that's been completed, but there is this beautiful place of just like this relief and this release that's present for you. You've been sort of feeling a little trapped and also kind of like victimized for a while because of this energy or this experience that you had growing up, and because of that there's been a lot of insecurities around the sense of nourishment, or even being around women, or being around sisterhood, or that type of energy, not trusting women in general because, or feeling insecure around them because of the experience that you had in the past. But this is now going away. This is an opportunity for you this month to kind of release that. And you're going to be presented with opportunities for you to open yourself back up. But the biggest thing you want to remember is that you want to let go of any fear or anxiety in relationship to this aspect of your life, right? This is a big chunk of energy that you've been having to deal with. It's not something, how do I say this? It's not something that's been necessarily easy, or you've been returning back to this many times. So just know that you're kind of like in this beautiful layer of, you're finally in this beautiful closing of this specific layer, and give yourself the opportunity to bring that, to feel that joy and that excitement of what's yet to come for you, right? Like, give yourself permission to release any remaining aspects of yourself that feel still that they need to hold on to this, to these experiences in the past. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Is there anything else here for Taurus? No. Okay, so that's what we have for you, Taurus. So it's a big chunk for you of work. So definitely, and I'm here to support. If you ever need support, I'm happy to support you with that. You're welcome, Nicole. I'm so happy you're here, love. You're very welcome. Okay, so let's see. We are done with Taurus. We're moving on to Gemini. So Geminis, let's see what messages we have for Geminis. Spirit, please give me the messages for the month of March for Geminis. What do we need to know for the month of March for Geminis? Okay, thank you. Show me. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Geminis, beautiful messages for you here. Geminis, we have the card of the Ace of Cups right side up for you. We have the card of Six of Wands right side up for you. We have the card of Ace of Pentacles upside down for you. We have the card of the Star upside down for you. And we have the card of Honoring and Ancestral for you, okay? All right, so dear Geminis, the message here from Spirit is, first of all, to prepare yourself for any opportunities where you may have this new emotional experience for yourself. There could be some spiritual awakening at this time, right? And there's just like this pour of emotions that may come out during this month of March. And so I want to invite you to really embrace that. Embrace the waters, embrace the overpour of energy and emotions, because they're really part of your journey of healing at this time. Okay, you're also being invited to really see yourself from a place of success. You have brought yourself into this place of victory in certain aspects of your life, but you may still feel hopeless or maybe despair, almost like as if you haven't caught on with the reality that you've created for yourself now. So it almost feels like you're kind of caught in this story in your head, but really the reality of your life is completely positive and beautiful. Part of the stories that are there in your head is coming from ancestral ancestral connections, right? Like, it's coming from your from your ancestors. And it's something that they're kind of having a hard time voicing as well. So because they have a hard time voicing that, you are the one experiencing it. You're kind of becoming the channeler of these experiences. And so this perception or this experience that you have in your head right now, in your mind, in your energy field, it's not yours. So it's important for you to work with your ancestors and release these loyalties that you may have with them in regards to this feeling of hopelessness or not moving forward in life, or not being successful. Like, that's not your reality. And I just want you to really see the contrast and start moving into the present moment and seeing yourself for what really is happening in your life, and not for what your ancestors are trying to emote through you. So it's probably a good idea for you to take some time to honor your ancestors, honor their path, but then also honor your own path, and give yourself permission to say, you know what, I honor you. I am the prayer. I am the answer to your prayer, but I also choose to move away from this energy, right? And so, however you want to do that, it's up to you. You're more than welcome to come up, and if you need support, I'll be happy to support you with that, in clearing the energies. But however you want to do it, it's up to you. But you want to make sure that you take that sort of like that conscious action and bring that into your conscious awareness. Okay. You may, if you stay in this place of hopelessness, dear Gemini, this is going to bring you trouble moving forward, because you will be missing chances, because you're not seeing the reality for what truly it is. You may see things from like almost like this clouded lens, right? Giving you creating a certain, like a situation for you that is not favorable. So I want to invite you to really start working on that, dear Gemini, because you don't want to miss chances this month. You don't want to miss opportunities. This is a really important time for you where you're really opening yourself up to so much. And so you don't want to miss these chances. You don't want to miss these opportunities because you're caught in energetic entanglement with your ancestors. Just don't. Okay. Honor your unique path, honor your unique expression of who you are, while honoring your ancestors, absolutely, but then also recognize that you're moving away from the way that things were, with your ancestors. Okay, so that's what I have for you, dear Gemini. All right, so moving on. We have Cancers. Cancer spirit, I'd like to know, what is the message for Cancer for the month of March? What do we need to be focusing on the month of March for Cancers? Any messages here? Let me know. Thank you, Spirit. What do we have here for Cancers? Thank you, Spirit. All right, Cancers, we have the card of Unity, which is Two of Cups upside right side up. We have the card of Ace of Swords upside down. We have the card of Seven of Pentacles right side up. We have the card of Judgment. Okay. Right side up, we have the card of Mold and Mycelium coming up for you. Okay. So when I see this, let me see here for Cancer. So, dear Cancer, you may have been on a situation, or you may have felt like you were in partnership. You may have felt like there was, like you were experiencing community, and you were under that understanding that you were experiencing community and partnership and support. And then now you're kind of going into this place of not really sure if that's really true because of lack of communication, or even like a sense of mistrust, or even arguments, or this very destructive energy that's been present. And so it's very, like, I feel like it's very chaotic, and so you may experience a little bit of chaos when it comes down to that, to certain energies that are coming up here. And now just know, so this is the interesting thing about these cards, is that even though it shows that there's going to be some really just messy energy there in the middle, there is sort of like this growth opportunity in this experience for everyone involved, which is really beautiful. And if anything, is really going to strengthen the energy, because there's going to be, with the card of judgment, I see sort of like this opportunity to renew the purpose of the relationships, renew the also the purpose of the community that you're part of, because I'm seeing the card of mycelium here, which tells me that this is related to community. Maybe you've been part of certain communities, or maybe one community or several communities that you've been part of. And this energy, even though it's going to be a little messy, is actually going to come out um, on a good on a good note. So just being mindful that it's going to be okay. Just, try to stay grounded as much as possible. And I also have the mold card here, which tells me that is there's a little bit of lack of care that's been sort of the root cause of this issue. And so that I feel like once the care and the compassion and the love is put into this, then that will resolve it. So hopefully when that happens, you remember this reading and you're able to kind of say, oh, Jikara said something about the mold card. Let me make sure that we put in a little bit of care and love like into it. Once that is being put into it, I think that that's going to really uh uh create sort of like a rebalancing of everything, right? Another thing you want to be mindful as well is that you want to make sure that this is being resolved within the community, that there's not external influences from other people kind of trying to dictate how things should or shouldn't go. And if that's the case, then voicing out the external factors that are impacting the situation, and then go from there. So I think that that's also another conversation you might want to have in those communities as well. It's like, oh, you know what, ever since this and this was said, or from this other person that doesn't really belong in our community, things have been a little wonky, right? And then say, oh yeah, sometimes those external influences or things that are said, they're kind of imprint into a space or into a community, and then it just creates discordance. So just clearing that energy out will be like, through those actions of caring and love and communication, will be very, very helpful for you guys. Okay, so that's what I have for you, dear Cancer. Okay, so overarching things, thank you, Spirit, for showing me. Now we're going to go to Leo. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Spirit, what do we have for Leo here? What messages do we have for Leo for the month of March? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Let me see what else do we have here for Leo. All right, for you, dear Leo, we have the card of Two of Swords upside down, the card of Ace of Wands upside down. We have the card of Five of Swords upside down. We have the card of the Emperor right side up. And we have the card of Reciprocity and Inner Adolescent from the Spirit of Psilocybin deck. Okay. Okay, so to complement this, Spirit wants me to pull another one. Okay, thank you. We got the card of Honoring coming out as well. Okay, so dear Leo, what I see here with this reading is that we have the okay, so it almost feels like you're overwhelmed, or you may be dealing with overwhelm this month of March. And you also may be dealing with because of that overwhelm, you may be dealing with sort of like a lack of making decisions, right? Like there's almost like this, like because you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not making a decision because you're like, okay, this is too much information for me to handle. I just cannot make a decision right now, even though there's something decisive that needs to be addressed this month for you. Okay. And part of the reason why is because you may feel like you don't have the ability to really have the vision of where you need to go, right? Like you feel like you're blocked from seeing or creating the reality that you want to create, right? And because of this, you may feel like your energy is just sort of like, you may feel a little moody, or maybe even your energy a little bit off. And you're being called to really look at your relationships. All relationships in your life need to be rebalanced, right? Rebalanced, dear Leo, because what's happening, and the reason why you're feeling that overwhelmed, dear Leo, is because you're carrying a lot on your shoulders right now. You're putting a lot on your shoulders at this time, and that's the reason why you're feeling overwhelmed. You need to let go of having to carry everything on your shoulders and give yourself permission to say, you know what, I'm not going to carry this. This is something you need to carry, right? So that you can create those aligned boundaries for yourself and be able to move into a place of creativity again, right? You're also being invited to really look at, so there may be people that may come into your life that could be personal or just even professional, where because of this overwhelm and this lack of clarity that's been created because of these situations or experiences that you've had, they may come back and say, or they may regret doing what they did, or they may come back and say, oh, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. You may want to take a look and say, you really want to be very mindful of how you're going to take, if you decide you're going to take someone back in to your life, or if you're going to allow them to work with you again, or maybe it's a client, or maybe it's someone that you're working with, whatever that is, because this is an overarching energy. Whatever that relationship is that is creating this sort of like creative block for you, you want to be mindful on how you're going to allow that person to come back into your life, right? Like you want to be sure that you're doing this from a place of, you know what, maybe I need to like let go. It's okay. It's okay. I'm better off without this overwhelm and this insane energy, right? And so you may want to take a look at that during this month, because that is something that is going to really allow you to expand. Once you release this, then you'll be able to expand more into where you want to be. The other thing that you're being invited to do this month is to bring some structure, because of that overwhelm that I was talking about earlier. You might need to take a little bit extra time to bring a little bit of structure for your month. Maybe organize yourself using those calendars, using those reminders, whatever that is, so that you can bring yourself back into balance, right? And practice that focus and that discipline that you need at this time. Just know that it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like when I say this, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can potentially see, how were you, when you were maybe in high school, right? With the inner adolescent card, I feel like that's the conversation here that Spirit wants to have with you. Is like, do you remember when you were in high school and how you had like all these classes and all these homeworks and all? Maybe you need to give yourself permission to be that for yourself. Be that teacher for yourself that's like, okay, these are the homeworks, these are the things that I need to get done, these are the chores that I need to get done, right? Like when you were at home and you had chores, like kind of like that, doing it in a way loving and compassionate for you, right? Don't feel like just because, oh, I don't have everything together right now, I'm a mess. Don't get into that mode. Just know that there's been influences here that haven't been helping you, and so you haven't really been existing in a vacuum, and it's not all on you, right? Like sometimes the outside factors can really impact us, and so just give yourself permission to cut yourself some slack, and then go get back into the saddle with a little bit more like focus, right? And again, I'm being guided to tell you again about the reciprocity card. You really need to make sure that you let go of taking all of the responsibilities on your shoulders. Like it's time for you to start making, taking, making people accountable for how they need to show up in a relationship with you. Okay, you deserve to be supported in all ways possible. Okay. All right, so that's what I have for my beautiful Leos. Moving on. Moving on. Okay, so we have Virgos. Okay. Okay, Virgos. What do we have, Spirit, for Virgos for the month of March? What do we have for the month of March? I can't believe that I didn't put this thing on. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right, so let me see for the month of March. Thank you. Okay. Virgo. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Virgo, we have a lot of air medicine for you today. We have the card of the Four of Swords. We have the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords, and they're all right side up. Okay. And we also have the Magician card right side up. We have the card of Grandfather Fire and Cosmic Child. Okay. From the Spirit of Psilocybin deck. And so let's take a look at it, see here right now what this is calling you to do. All right, dear Virgo. So what I see here is that you have been in this place of just protecting yourself. You've been wanting to protect yourself from external influences or even situations that have created painful experiences for yourself. I also see here that you're seeing the value in that protective energy that you've been operating from, so much so that this is sort of like creating an catch-22 for you, where you may feel like, now that I'm here in this really cozy protective space, I don't know if I really want to get out of this. Dear Virgo, I want to invite you to really look at how sometimes we can create our own prisons because we're operating from a place of fear. So there is a balance that we can bring into our life that has to do with understanding that, yes, we bring ourselves into a place of protecting ourselves, we create those boundaries, but then are we creating so much of a boundary that is like basically creating a wall, and we're keeping people outside, right? You may feel like if you do that, if you get out of this wall, if you get out of this safe place, that you may be betrayed again. There's a lot of fear energy here present, dear Virgo. So I want to invite you to really think about, how can you move away from this fear? How can you alchemize this fear? How can you use Grandfather Fire, which came up here? We have air and fire, powerful energies here. Even you have the Magician card, which is an air medicine. I mean, the air medicine is so present for you, dear Virgo, which that tells me is, first of all, you want to make sure that you voice his fears to someone, whether it is going to therapy or whether it is to a safe friend, because you want to make sure that it's a safe friend. And voicing these fears might potentially move the energy for you. But another way that you can do this, and I can, let's say you don't want to lean into anyone, you want to do this on your own, you can use the fire through a candle, and you can write down all these fears, all these experiences you've had that you feel like you've been forced to be in, and then burn, like say them out loud, and then also say that you're releasing them, that you're no longer going to be operating from that fear, and that you allow yourself to open up. And I even, as I say that, I can even already hear you say, dear Virgo, but I don't want to do that. I'm scared. I don't want to do that, right? And so I just want to invite you to really, really give yourself permission to do that, because that is going to really shift the energy for you, right? You have everything you need inside of you to shift to shift this energy. Now, the other thing I was going to say too is that there is an opportunity here to, you got the Cosmic Child and the Magician card coming through. And what that tells me, forgive me as I, excuse me, as I take some water. With the Magician card and the Cosmic Child, what that tells me is that, dear Virgo, you are being so activated right now. This situation right here is actually happening for you. And you are really being invited to look at alchemizing this experience. It's time for you to move past this, to release it, and to do so from a place of, we don't have to forget, but we can release it energetically so that we can stand in that true powerful state that who we are, right? You're being invited to understand the balance of the universe, right? We have the positive and the negative experiences, and all of these are impermanent. And not only are they impermanent, but they also are serving a specific purpose to shape us, to help us move and transition our soul into a higher place, into ascending, right? Into ascension. And so give yourself permission to see yourself from that perspective. Use the grandfather fire to help you move those energies, and definitely give yourself the opportunity to see how skilled you are and how incredibly powerful you are. And that even though you may, you've been experiencing this for so long that you don't even know if you can shift this energy, I'm here to tell you that you can. You absolutely can. And so it's just a matter of just moving through this step by step, and then taking that first action, writing that letter, voicing it out, throwing it in the fire, saying thank you, I release it, then saying that you open yourself up again, so that you can move into an energy of more flow, more inward and outward flow into your life, right? So you don't feel stagnant and trapped inside this wall or this castle that you have built to protect yourself. Okay. I know it's nice and comfy, but it's time to get out. Okay. All right. So moving on. Libra. Dear Libra. Let's see what do we have for Libra today or for the month of March? Spirit, thank you. Spirit, what do we have for Libra for the month of March? Okay, thank you. Okay, dear Libra, let's see what do we have here. Thank you, Spirit. All right, dear Libra, we have a lot of fire energy for you. We have the card of defensive of 7 of Wands, which is all about defending yourself. 6 of Wands, right side up. We have Three of Swords, right side up. We have the Tower, upside down. And then we also have the card of Corn as well as Grandmother Water. Okay, we have these two cards here. Okay, so for the 7 of Wands, like I was mentioning as I was opening up here for you, you've been defending yourself a lot. You've been having to stand up for yourself. Okay, you've been having to practice a little bit of territorial, boundary in many aspects of your life. And you've been doing so because this is the time for you to really stand in your truth, right? Fully and inequitably and in your truth. Like nobody needs to, you feel like nobody needs to like be confused about who you are and how you stand in certain things and certain understandings, in certain values. Like there's a lot of just like standing in your truth, dear Libra. And this in turn is going to be very rewarding for you. There's going to be, because you've been working on this sort of like no, saying no when you really need to say no, not complying with people pleasing, and not complying with things that you don't want to comply with, and really standing in your truth. This is actually bringing a lot of shift for you in a positive way. Okay. However, I see here that you may need to deal with certain separation from certain people that are not necessarily aligned with you. This may have brought you to a place where now there's like a breaking point, right? There's a breaking point because the people who were used to the status quo of how things used to be are no longer aligning with you, and they're maybe even moving away, or you yourself are moving away from them, right? And so really giving yourself permission to say, you know what, I did this and I deserve to have those who, and I attract those who are in alignment with me, right? And so dear Libra, you're doing great. You're doing great. Continue to do what you're doing. I understand there's going to be some grief involved with this, and it's okay, and give yourself permission to be in that grief, right? Like we have grandmother water here speaking to you in regards to your emotional body. Give yourself the chance to cry if you need to cry. Give yourself the chance to emote if you need to emote, right? It's okay to go through this process of grief. These changes and these shifts you've been calling for. But then, of course, there are consequences to these shifts, because now that the energy is moving or moved, then, those changes are happening. And it's like, wow, like now, but there's going to be so much more on the other side of this. However, you really want to make sure that you are embracing your emotional body as you move through this, okay? So don't repress it. Do not repress anything, right, at this time. You're also kind of in this place of, because so there could be another aspect of you for some of you where you may resist the change. And I want to tell you right now, dear Libra, if you resist the change, then all of the work that you put in, where is it going to go, right? That you don't, what you want to allow yourself to be in the flow, right? So I want to invite you to really connect to the energy of water. Maybe even look at water. Maybe go to a body of water. Maybe go to a pool or the beach or wherever you want to go, and go float. Okay, go float in the water so that you can and then as you're floating in the water, you give yourself permission to say, I release everything and I allow myself to be taken where I need to be taken, right? Do that, and you'll see how things will shift. With the card of corn, I also see, when all of this stuff is really bringing so much more abundance into your life, right? Like abundance is not just financial, right? It could be the abundance of good things, of good people in your life, of people who share your values and share your visions, and that will bring such an incredible feeling of opening to what is for the greater good for your own life and for those who are around you, right? So you're basically just realigning this month. It's okay. It's okay to go through the process, right? No, but this is a conversation that a lot of people don't have when it comes down to realignment. Realignment doesn't always feel good. And I just want you to think about it. Doesn't always feel good at first. It will feel good eventually, but at the very first time when we're kind of shifting things around, it's very uncomfortable. So I want you to hold on tight and just notice that you've been guided to do this for a reason. So don't resist the change, dear Libra, okay? All right, moving on. Hi, Monica. So happy to see you. Good morning to you. Okay, so we got Scorpios. Scorpio. Okay, Scorpios, what do we have for Scorpios, dear spirit, in regards to the month of March? What do we need to share with them? What do they need to know? What do we have for Scorpio, sun sign of Scorpio, for the month of March? What do we need to know for the month of March? Thank you. For the month of March, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. Dear Scorpio, we have the card of Seven of Cups upside down. I'm sorry, right side up. We got the card of Four of Swords upside down. We have the card of Eight of Cups upside down for you, dear Scorpio. We have the card of the Chariot upside down. And we have the card of the Inner Child, as well as the Bioluminescence card from the Spirit of Psilocybin for you. Okay? So what do we have here, dear Spirit? What do we need to share with Scorpios? Okay, so dear Scorpio, so you are actually coming out of this place of being in your mind a lot. You've been kind of like stuck in figuring out what's your purpose, what am I here to do? Like I don't even understand what's the purpose of all this experience, and just kind of like daydreaming a lot and trying to understand your world and your experience at the mind level. You kind of been in this like mind level experience, and you're kind of going back down. You're in so the month of March is going to be all about really awakening into your reality and where you are now, being very present, very in the now, very just grounded. This is what the energy is available for you. You're potentially going to feel more connected this month, more open to receive other people in your life as well, or even more present and available for those who are in your life, right? Because you haven't been as present or available like mentally or emotionally. So now you're kind of moving into a place of more grounding energy, and you because of this, it's gonna come into your reality. You're gonna actually come into the awareness that you've been stagnant. You've been experiencing this stagnation because of being in the mind so much, being in this dream world, and like trying to figure out like what do I do, and not taking any action, not taking any like aligned concrete earth action, right? And you're kind of going to come into into this understanding. It was like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing the past couple of weeks or months, or for the beginning of this year, right? Like, and so you want to really give yourself permission to look at your inner child. Okay, part of the reason why you are experiencing this sort of um energy and feeling like things sort of like this catch 22, almost like I go back. This is what I'm seeing here, going back into your mind because the reality is too hard, going back into the mind because the reality is too hard, and then going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and never getting out of this. It's almost this catch 22, right? This is something you developed as a child, right? And so you want to break away from that. So whatever you can do to give yourself permission to release that, however you're going to do that, right? Whether it is reaching out to like a therapist, or a friend, or I would recommend therapist, because if it's something from the inner child, which clearly it is here, then you want to make sure that it's addressed properly, right? And so like so that you can get away from this back and forth, like almost like ping pong type of thing, going back into the mind, then being aware of what's happening. Oh my gosh, this is too painful. I'm going to go back and escape. You don't want to live in that forever, because then how are you going to move into your best expression, right? And so my invitation for you, dear Scorpio, okay, is to first of all remember. So the bioluminescence card here is it's here to remind you that you are pure light. Okay, if you got to see yourself from the perspective of the Akashic Records, right? From the perspective of God consciousness, from Christ consciousness, give yourself permission to see yourself in the light, in the beauty of who you are. You are here. You are a creation of God, and you are part of God, and you come from God, and you're magical, right? You're this magical being walking in this meat suit. Dear Scorpio, remember that, right? That's the message that the card of bioluminescence wants to kind of bring forth for you, is to remember the magic and the beauty of who you are, and to understand that your reality doesn't have to be what you perceive, or what has been expressed in the past. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to live in a daydream for you to survive. I want to invite you to come out of that survival and come into that thriving. And the best way to do that is by breaking those patterns that were created back then. Okay. You're also being invited to see yourself from a place of having control of your life. Like, you have complete control. Like, give yourself permission this month to give yourself this mantra. This is your mantra for this month, dear Scorpio. I am in control of my life. I am in control of my life. I am in control of my life. And give yourself permission to see that. Are we in control of everything? No. But can we potentially take actions that are and control the way that we react to the situations? Absolutely, yes. And that's what I'm talking about, right? You're in control of your reaction to what's happened in the past, and also in the present moment, and into the future, right? That's all we can do, right? And so I want to invite you to really grasp into that, right? And so, yeah, so this month feels like it's a month of healing for you. There's a lot of water energy here present, a lot of air energy that wants to kind of move through you, so that you can release all of the stuff that's been in the air, and then connect to your essence, right? To your true essence. The interesting thing about this card, right? The first card that came up for you, the Seven of Cups. Actually, that card is related to Scorpio. So imagine. So, like, think about how you can move into a place of just aligned action with your truth, aligned action with who you truly are, right? And yeah, I'm sending you so much love to your Scorpios. I want to invite you to really, really give yourself permission to expand from this back and forth you've been in. It's time to stop it. No more. It doesn't serve your highest good. Just, it's time to move on. Okay. And you can do this. You're not alone. You can do this. You have the capacity to do this. And if you need support, you're more than welcome to come to me, and I'll be happy to support you with a clearing as well, if you need that. If you feel called to do that, of course. All right. So moving on. All right. So we have Sagittarius. We got Sagittarius. Dear Sagittarius, Spirit, tell me, what are the messages for Sagittarius? What's the message for Sagittarius here for the month of March? Thank you. For Sagittarius for the month of March. Thank you. For Sagittarius for the month of March. Thank you. Thank you. Sagittarius for the month of March. Thank you. All right, dear Sagittarius, for this month of March, we have the card of the Seven of Wands for you, upside down. We have the card of Page of Swords, upside down. We have the card of Six of Cups, upside down. We have the card of the Star, right side up. And we have the cards of Sol, Sun, and the Journey, from the spirit of psilocybin. Okay. Dear Sagittarius, this is interesting because there's some things here that have been showing up for you for the past month that are still showing up for you on this month. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to talk about here is the fact that you are being invited this month to believe in yourself, to fully come into the awareness that you have everything inside of you to do whatever it is that you put your mind set to do. With the card of the sun above this card, I feel that this is related to the solar plexus. So working on your solar plexus this month of March will be very beneficial for you to connect with your solar plexus, to expand your energy, to breathe into your diaphragm and expand that energy out, to maybe even listen to some meditations in regards to solar plexus, anything that will really put you in a place of self-empowerment is what will be most beneficial for you during this month. Okay. You are also the reason why you're being invited to connect to this solar plexus is because you may be experiencing again a lack of self-belief, and also feeling like there's like things are not really like almost like a house of cards, like almost like things are not grounded for you. They don't feel so grounded for you. And because of that, you may feel cynical about life because you're like, things are gonna fall apart anyway. So I want to invite you to really give yourself permission to start connecting to that solar plexus so that you can move that energy away and really connect to the truth of your abilities. I mean, you're an amazing, capable being. It's just that sometimes we get, because there's sort of like we're walking on grounds that are not very firm, right? They feel a little like flimsy. Then we feel like insecure about ourselves. That has nothing to do with you, right? Sometimes the environment is not supporting us. So maybe moving into a place of making sure that you're grounded in that solar plexus, right? And then moving into like, you know what? I really need to make sure that I move from from this environment. This environment is not supporting me, right? And so sometimes it's the environment, not you. Okay. Think about it. And I've talked about this before. If you're going to place a rose in the middle of the desert, are you going to expect that rose to grow? No, it's just not going to happen, right? So like why are you putting yourself in, you don't want to put yourself in a space where you cannot, where you feel like you're not supported. You want to make sure you move into a place of support, right? That's the one thing. The other thing that I see here is that you may be feeling very, very disconnected from the present moment because you're kind of very connected to the past. And this may potentially be bringing a little bit of depression for you. You may be feeling a little bit depressed about your life right now, not because the present moment is necessarily depressing, but because you're sort of stuck in the past or past experiences. So dear Sagittarius, you want to really give yourself permission to connect to what brings you that sense of pleasure and nourishment. Maybe you're having a moment of remembering like your parents, or remembering how things were when you were growing up. Maybe you're feeling like, a little nostalgic, right, about life and how life used to be. And that's okay. We can definitely remember, but don't get stuck there. Okay, do not get stuck there, dear Sagittarius. This specific card has been showing up for you a lot. So I want to throw caution to the wind and remind you that yes, definitely you want to connect to these, and definitely I invite you to, yet don't let these get to the point where you're getting to a place of depression and just living in the past. Like, you want to be balanced about it. Okay, your journey is forward, right? Your journey is forward. We cannot walk, we cannot take time back, right? Like, we cannot rewind time. Well, all we can do is move forward and bring with us the memories with so much gratitude, but then also knowing that we're moving forward and staying present with what is right now available for us. You're also, this month, you're going to have a lot of positive energy that's going to come through for you. Maybe some planetary alignments for you that are going to, or you probably are already feeling that energy that shifted for you during the last planetary alignment. But I do feel like for you, there's going to be some healing and some release You're gonna have like renew yourself into a place of hope and faith and excitement. And I feel this is really beautiful. You may need to release some emotional aspects of yourself that are still, like I was mentioning, in regards to past from the past. You may need to let go of certain things. Try not to hold on to these memories that are fleeting, right? Like, just give yourself permission to just to be mindful of them and accept them, but then also allow them to flow and let go, right? Like, don't try to hold on to something that's not there anymore, right? And that's what I have for you, right? You have some healing and some healing work to do this month, dear Sagittarius. Okay, so moving on. So we have Capricorn, dear Scorpio, but dear Spirit, dear Scorpio, dear Capricorn, dear Capricorn. I guess there's a Scorpio here present. That's probably what's going on. Okay. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me what is the message for Capricorn here for the month of March? What's the message for Capricorn here for the month of March? All right, dear Capricorn, we have a lot of fiery energy for you, dear Capricorn. We have the Page of Wands upside down. We have the Ace of Wands upside down. We have the Eight of Wands right side up. We have the card of Judgment upside down. All fire cards. So fire energy is present for you today. We got the card of Death and the card of Embodiment for you, dear Capricorn. Okay. Dear Capricorn, so you may be feeling a little bit impatient about life in general. Like, things may not be looking as ideal at this time for you, and then you may be feeling like, okay, well, this is not fun, right? But the reason why you're going through this, dear Capricorn, is because there's a little bit of transformative energy that is present. There's some the universe is basically taking care of you right now by letting certain things go, right? Like, helping you let go of certain things. So try to really be in a place of just flow as much as you can this month, because this is a time for you to just let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. And so this process of letting go what doesn't serve you might feel a little bit like, well, there's nothing happening right now. I feel stagnant right now. Actually, that's not true. What's happening is that you're being realigned energetically, dear Capricorn. And these delays or blocks that you may feel, they're really not blocks. They're just part of the journey of transformation that you're going through right now. Okay. You actually are moving into a progress, and this is actually going to be very soon your reality with the embodiment card. You What I see here is that you've had visions that you've been grounding, you've been working on for a while. You've been really taking aligned action for a while, and you've been like, okay, where is the result here? The result is coming, especially this month. You're going to see a lot of sudden changes, a lot of excitement, which is very, very exciting for you. But you also may be dealing with a little bit of self-doubt. Okay. And you may feel like you there was nothing to learn about this experience. So I want to tell you to hold your horses here and try to take the time this month to think about what were the lessons that you were meant to learn during this time, this transitional time that you were in, this time of just like stagnant energy, right, that you were in. What did you learn through this time? There was a divine purpose for this, and I want to bring that into light for you so that you can be in that conscious awareness of it, and start even shifting the energies now, right? Like, okay, what is in here for me? What is the lesson here? Okay. um because of all this work that you've done, and the fact that you've seen this, like, it's just been kind of like stagnant. You may feel like, oh my gosh, like, am I even doing the right thing? Yes, you are. The cards are letting you know that yes, you are. So if you needed that confirmation, here it is for you. Okay, dear Capricorn, you are doing the right thing. You've been in alignment the entire time, dear Capricorn. It's fine. It's just that you were kind of going through this realignment, and that realignment needed to take some time. And that realignment is actually going to pay off this time of transition, or shifting, which has been feeling more like stagnation for you from the outward, looking into the world. It's been really just helping you, and in integrating that. So this is the time for you to just really take the moment to think about, how can I integrate these lessons? How can I integrate this? And then this is actually something, and what I really feel like it's exciting at this time for you, is that once you start seeing the things shift, and the reality change, there's going to be a big lesson for you here in regards to cycles, in regards to how everything comes in cycles, and how there's like the highs and the lows, and how to embrace both of the highs and the lows and the in-betweens. There's a really beautiful opportunity here for you, dear Capricorn. So yeah, so think about that. With the thing that I can give you here right now is to maybe sit with your journal and think about, okay, in what cycle am I in right now in my life? What is the cycle that I'm in? I want to leave that question for you, so that you can journal on that, and then hopefully that will start that conversation with spirit, with your higher self, in regards to what are the lessons that you're learning here. Okay. All right, moving on. So Aquarius. All right, so we got Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, what is the message for Aquarius sun signs for the month of March, Spirit? Show me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. All right, dear Aquarius, we have the card of Queen of Cups right side up for you. We have the card of Seven of Wands right side up for you. We have the card of Ace of Pentacles right side up for you. We have the card of Justice upside down for you. And we have the card of Cosmic Father and the Sun from the Spirit of Psilocybin. Okay. Okay. So, first things first, dear Aquarius, you are in this beautiful, you've been coming in from this beautiful place of healing. You've been seeking counseling. You've been actually receiving a lot of support in regards to really reconnecting with this essence of compassion for yourself and for others. You've been also expanding into your intuitive guidance. You've been expanding into your third eye chakra, as well as your crown chakra. Like, these two chakras are very active for you at this time, dear Aquarius, and they're actually helping you as you move into this month, because this month you're meant to be really aligning with having discernment on what is really best for you, and how you can best express what is for your highest good, and stand up for yourself. So this month you're gonna kind of you're gonna be sort of like let's say invited to practice all of these things that you've been learning, right? You're gonna have like some sort of like a test, right? And so this is an opportunity for you to really lean into that, lean into all of this intuitive guidance, to learn that, to express that discernment that you've been learning at this time, or during this time, and then express that through the month of March. this is actually going to be a really great thing for you, because when you do so, when you stand up for your values, when you say the things that you want to say and you say them proudly, this is going to open up so much opportunity for you. There could be potentially someone who might be stricken by that passion of yours and may approach you with opportunities, right? They may come forward and say, wow, I really like this about you. So don't shy away from, when you feel that internal guidance, to speak up, to make sure that you do, because people are watching you, dear Aquarius. Okay. We also have the card of justice upside down, which tells me that you're gonna have the chance to actually speak up about something that is unjust, something that is not right, something that really feels like it shouldn't be happening, and that you've been seeing happening for many, many years, even in your own life. Maybe even you may have been the victim of the situation, and you are going to stand up for that. You're going to stand up against that, actually, not for that, but against that. Okay. Dear Aquarius, this is your time to shine in that beautiful light, because that is going to really bring so much shift, not only for you, for those around you, and then it's going to spark opportunities for you again. It's going to spark opportunities, which this is exciting. Now, we have the card of the cosmic father, and then this specific cosmic father card is all about connecting to Brahma. Brahma is the creator of the universe, right, in the Hindu tradition. And Brahma is all about studying and learning and expanding, and this is kind of like the energy that you're being invited to really connect to this month. Like, how can you expand your conscious awareness about things that matter to you? So maybe taking the time to go to the I'm seeing library, or books. I'm seeing books, lots of books in the visuals that I'm seeing here. So how can you expand your knowledge? How can you connect with more of the understanding, and even in the things that are unjust? How can you learn a little bit, maybe about the laws, maybe of the things that are not right, and how they can be made right, right? And so that's the invitation from spirit for you. Then we have the card of the sun, right? The card of the sun is all about connecting to that solar plexus, but also shining your light, being truthful about who you are, and unapologetically being yourself, right? Unapologetic. You're not hurting anyone, right? You're just saying what you want to say in a beautiful, compassionate way, dear Aquarius. You're standing for the truth. You're standing for the truth, not only of yourself, but also to help shift things forward. So this feels very powerful. This month is going to be a lot of like outward work for you, where you're going to be just really exerting a lot of energy. So make sure you're taking care of your body, make sure that you're taking care of yourself, maybe even making sure that you're moving your body, you're doing whatever you need to do to make sure that you are well, because there's going to be a lot of exertion that you're going to be doing, and it's for your highest good. But you also want to make sure that you're balancing, right? You're balancing yourself. So whatever you need to do to rest and retreat, so that you can go back out and be that warrior of light that you are, dear Aquarius, then you can then go ahead and do so. Okay. All right. So moving on, that's what I have for you, dear Aquarius. We're moving on to Pisces. Dear Pisces, maybe some of you are maybe some of you, your birthday already happened, or your birthday's about to happen. So happy birthday, dear Pisces. If it's already happened, or if it's going to happen, still happy birthday. All right. So what's the message for the month of March for Pisces spirit? For Pisces. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, what's the message for Pisces? Thank you, Spirit. All right, dear Pisces, we have the card of Page of Wands upside down. We have the card of Seven of Swords upside down. We have the card of Four of Pentacles upside down. We have the card of the Hangman upside down, so all of them upside down. And we have the card of the Journey, but this one is really the Crossroads, the crosswords on your journey, and the Adolescent card for you. Dear Pisces, you may be feeling a little impatient this month. You may be feeling a little bit disconnected with your sense of grounded self. So make sure that you are grounding yourself this month as much as you can. You may feel like this month you may have certain regrets that may come up, or maybe your conscious awareness, things might come to you towards your conscious awareness from the subconscious. That's what I meant to say. From your subconscious, you might have things that are revealed to you from your subconscious into your conscious awareness, and you may have regrets because of that. You may have regrets about how things were handled and how or how you showed up, or maybe certain situations. And so working through that regret is important, and letting go of that, because that is going to help you release the energy and finally move forward. You're also being invited to see that you're kind of like with a crossroads, right? It represents making a decision. So you may have a moment where you have to make a decision whether you go left or right in your road. You may have to make a decision of how are you going to react or act with the things that are being revealed to you this month, right? With the things that you're being guided to confront this month. And so you get to decide, are you going to go onto the path of the reactivity, or you're going to go into the path of conscious awareness and integration of these things that you're finding out. Okay. You're also being invited to see things from a different perspective if you can, and also maybe even meditate, right? Like just be in this place of just meditation, just feeling into what's happening and what wants to react, what wants to come forth for you, and then how can you move into a place of just observing what's happening, right? Which, if you've been watching these videos here that I've been doing for the past month, then you can potentially get a little bit of support there with the meditations that I've shared for the past month of February. So if you want to practice that would be very helpful for you this month. To practice that self-awareness and that grounding, those grounding techniques of Vipassana or any other. Like, I'm just mentioning this, but you do you, right? Like, I don't want you to feel like you have to do what I say, but definitely do whatever you need to do to help you ground, okay, this month. The other thing that you're being invited to do is to give yourself permission to open yourself to receiving and giving gifts, but then also be mindful on how you're going to do this. Like, don't overspend, don't overdo, right? And don't expect others to overdo as well. So like giving up any expectations as well on gifts or gift giving is also an important thing. This expectation may potentially come from an inner adolescent aspect that is still in need to be addressed. So just like we have the inner child, we have the inner adolescent. So times from when we are around 12 or 13 all the way to when we're 17, what happened during that time that's related to gift giving that you potentially can heal, right? Maybe you didn't receive something at the time, or maybe you wanted to receive something and then you ended up receiving something else, or you didn't receive anything. Whatever that is during that time, try to remember how was gift giving during that time for you, and try to address any painful experiences that you may have had during that time, so that you are not projecting this into the current people in your life. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. So you don't want to bring that sort of like those experiences or project them into the present moment. And that is what I have for you, dear Pisces. You're gonna have a very emotional month. Okay, so just ground as much as possible. That's the biggest takeaway that I can give you, is to ground and to practice all the techniques, all the tools that you've learned so far, And if you haven't learned them, then go ahead and learn them, or you can go through the fire and learn them as you go, so that you can really be in a place of conscious response and not reactivity. Okay, so that's what I have for you, dear beautiful and dear Pisces. And again, I want to thank you all for being here. I am done with the readings, and if you want to support this channel, you can go ahead and book a session with me by going over to thebloominglotushealing.com. I can potentially support you with any issues in regards to what I've mentioned today. For some of you, in regards to your relationships, or even if you're dealing with energies that are feeling heavy, we can move those energies by tapping into your Akashic Records. I use something called spiritual response therapy, as well as the Beloved Method, which is my own method that I created to help you move energies between you and other people. Or if you wanted to just move certain energies that are just present in your life, we can do that. And if you wanted a one-on-one, just like a direct, specific reading for you, you can book a reading as well there on my website. I would invite you to share and like this video, please. Any support that you can give, that would be amazing. I will be so grateful for you, because anytime you share and like, that lets know that the algorithm, that YouTube, that you like what you see. And so please do that, so that they can continue suggesting these videos, and then we can grow this family. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. And if you have, welcome to the family. If you have done the subscription but you haven't hit the bell button, please make sure that you do that, so that you know when I go live next. That's what I have for y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. I hope that you got to see the videos that I was sharing earlier about energy, from the 50s, I think. I'm not really sure from when it was, but it was really cool, and I really wanted to share it with y'all. And if you want to again connect again with me online, I'll be back here tomorrow at the same time. Love you. Namaste.